take the kids?
That's a very hard question to answer. I mean, I could come up with a million theories of why I think Rebecca did it, but I don't have any definitive answer that would solidify what's going through her mind. I wish I knew the actual answer of why she does this, since it's not the first time she's done this before. But I just wish that when this is all over, that she would get help to stop taking the kids, because whatever the reasoning is for her, causes emotional trauma for me at the same time. And I don't understand why she thinks it's right to take the kids in my possession and then just say, oh, it's okay, it doesn't matter. Because that's generally her viewpoint, is that she's not really doing anything wrong. She's sort of in the right, and ultimately everything's going to work out in the end. And it just bugs me. That's how she feels about it.
So you don't think it's anything malicious?
If I asked her specifically, she tells me that she's not doing it to harm people, but I don't see how you could see it any other way, the way that she acts around the children. Your kids were taken from you, and it was just taken from you in the middle of the night, and there's no letter left behind saying what the reasoning is, or there's no explanation of why you're doing this. It seems very bad, especially on her part, because where's her plan? Where's her motivation? So I just work as hard as I can to try to convince her to bring the kids back, but it's hard to do that when every time I talk to her, she always says that I need to help her instead, because she's the one that's being abused. She's the one that needs money to be supported. I have to give her money, and I have to support her and get her back here. And she's always using the play card of, if you love me, you would help me, kind of thing. But I can't play that card anymore with her, so I don't go into that area. When she calls me and she says, send me money, send me the car, or not send the car, but send me deeds to the car because my license is expiring. Send me the license and stuff. I just tell her, no, I can't give you all these things because you're just going to abuse me by taking these items, and then you're going to squander them, and how do I know you're going to return? And generally, she doesn't return. So it's just.
Talk of not seeing them right now. How concerned are you about the kids' safety?
I do fear about the kids' safety because Rebecca doesn't have a very good ability to take care of the kids by herself. If there's someone else around, like her parents or me, for instance, when I was able to do it, the kids were in relative safety. But when it's just her by herself, it's very difficult for Rebecca to sit and focus on taking care of the kids in a parental setting. Because she gets lost in her own mind, if you will. And what I mean is, like, she'll just want to play video games or just play on the computer, or she'll ignore the kids, and stuff like that happens. And I'm not the only one who's seen this, although I don't want to get into a long description of that. Excuse me. So we know there are people who know that if she's by herself taking care of the kids, there's a slight danger for the children to be neglected. And so that's the biggest concern I have. So if I can get the kids back into my possession, or if I can get the kids into the possession of someone who I feel safe with them with, then I will feel much better about the fact that they're back in Ohio and that they're here and I can see them again. But the hard part is convincing her that what she's doing is wrong, which of course I just said she doesn't.
Now, besides your attorney, who's helping you get those kids back to Ohio?
Well, I have several witnesses, if that's what you mean, that are...
What I'm getting at is, no, that's my question, Rebecca. What I'm getting at is, are authorities helping you bring your kids home?
You would think, but it seems like they're actually resisting helping. That's just from my point of view. For instance, the fact that I have an emergency protection order that said she couldn't leave the state of Ohio, and we know that she left the state of Ohio, that no one's gone out to get the kids. And I don't understand why anybody's doing anything. You know, the judge or maybe the civil, I don't know how it works exactly, you know, but it seems like everyone is just waiting around. I don't understand why, you know. If there's a protection order in place, any protection order, at least in my view, you should go into it. You should, you know, authorize it, or I don't know what the proper word is. You know, they should do something about it. But it seems to me that no one is. So, and the protection order was well explained to the cops about the fact that she couldn't leave Ohio, but that she could stay in Ohio. But when it was discovered she was no longer in Ohio, it seems like nobody did anything. At least that's from my point of view. I could obviously be wrong because I don't know all the details of what's going on. But as of this moment in time, it doesn't seem like anybody's doing anything.
How frustrating is that, knowing that she did violate court orders, but yet the police won't look for the kids?
It's very frustrating. It's very, very, very frustrating. The kids, like I've told you, are my life. I always make sure that the kids are first to be taken care of. And you have my wife who's running around taking care of her own needs and taking them and going around and doing her own thing. And the kids, I want back into, and I want Rebecca here too, so that, you know, we can work this out if possible. But, you know, no one seems to be doing anything about it at the higher levels as far as I can tell. And that just frustrates me because I know if they got up and they started doing something, that something would happen, or at least motivation of other people would start happening. But like I said, I don't have any real understanding of what's going on in the higher levels or what's going on with the police.
Why is it so important that you see them immediately?
Well, the number one reason is because I'm dying of leukemia. The doctors at the university hospitals have not given me much longer than a month because my treatment options have run out. I can't receive any known chemotherapies that will work, and there is no drug studies that seem to be on the board that is going to work. So right now I'm down to no options. So basically I have to be put on hospice care or live back at home until the end comes. And with the kids taken away from me and gone, I don't have the ability to see them, you know, before the end. And one of the things that, like I said, is that they're my life, and I'd like to be able to witness them seeing me and be in my presence that one last time before the end does come. And let them know how much I care about them, how much I always love them before I life or that experience is taken away from me. So it really comes down to a father's love, because if I don't ever get to see them again before they're back, it's like, you know, I would have never got to see them again. And right now they're gone. I get an occasional phone call from them, but phone call is different than seeing them in person and being able to express how much you love them in person.
What is it you want to say to your children?
When children come back, I want to tell them how much I care about them, how much I've always cared about them, how much I've worked hard for them, and always tried to make their lives the best lives they can have. And that when they grow up, I hope they take that same driving spirit that I was giving them and use it to have happy lives in the future. And I just want them to know that they're going to have good lives when I'm done. And that's all I want to pass it them with a legacy kind of wish. So that's pretty much what it comes down to. It's just being able to see them, give them all of my father's love before them until I can't do it anymore. And then when that happens, at least I know that I did the best I could for them, and I did the best that I could as a father to explain to them why they meant so much to me as a father.
No one could really relate to the difficulty of your situation. So tell us, how are you coping with what's going on?
It's very difficult coping. because like one reason it's very frustrating having to get the court system on board, but it's also very difficult because I don't know that you're patient with kids. It just seems like when I call Rebecca to try to get a hold of the kids, information is just thrown back in my face. So I don't ever really get to talk to them. It's always about her and how she needs help. It's really frustrating because on her side of the story, I'm supposed to take care of her. And I'm supposed to take care of my children too. And when you're trying to get in contact with your kids again, and you don't seem to see any progress happening, it's very devastating, you know. And I've had a few emotional breakdowns here and there prior to the kids coming back in January, because you try to stay hopeful that you'll eventually see them again before the end is come, but it doesn't seem like anything is happening. So I think the biggest frustration for me is having a lot of issues out of my control and not being able to do what I think is right because either A, the political system is hampering me, or B, because I'm not getting the resources needed necessary to get through.
You strike me as the kind of guy that if you were healthy, you would be finding the money for it without any issue.
I think so. As a matter of fact, when they were first taken, I left the hospital against the doctor's orders to go file a physical police report, but I was told never to do that again because I can make myself sick and I needed the facility. So, but I believe I would be out there doing the best I could, trying to locate her on my own. I really do think that would be something I would do.
So if you could, you would.
I think so, yes.
What's it like to know you can't?
It's heartbreaking. It very much is. Because, when you sit here and you see pictures of your kids and knowing how long it's been since I've had to see them versus how much time I haven't had to see them, it's just very emotional wrecking. Everyone always tries to give you confidence, everyone tries to motivate you in your work on hand, stuff like that. But as the days go by and as time seems to crawl, it feels like nothing is happening and maybe nothing was ever going to happen. So it's a very traumatic event in a way. But I always hold my eyes hope that I will be able to see my kids before the end. And I hate saying it that way because I don't want to die. So I always look positively at, even though they said I have a month, that maybe I'll last long. So that motivation gives me something to go off of too. Because the doctors say I got a month, I say I got 2. Because until I see my kids again, I don't think I'm ready to leave this planet.
What do you want to add?
Just that I hope that the kids are being taken care of well, since I don't know truly their location. I hope they're remembering and that they know that their dad is still Wilson, regardless of the fact that they're always taken from me, and I'm pretty sure that they'll go on. But I hope they have enough integrity or intelligence, I don't know what the proper word would be. But I just hope they know, knowing their father the way he is, that I would never just abandon them. And I want them to know.
Talk a little more now. Just needed to
I was diagnosed in August. I don't remember the exact date.